Good morning and welcome to Fish of the Day presented by Doc's Daily Derbies.
All right, and here is our freshwater fish of the day. It is the mountain whitefish, and this can be found on most of the US free maps. And I'm going to fish it on S9. So you're going to be looking for fishing at the dough ball. It should be the only medium body fish, at least on this level, that's going to be green. And if there are, I've not looked at all the other levels, and this might not hold true, but if you move your bait to the right 2 times, it should go well. If you have all the baits, it'll be green, yellow, red. That might be a way to identify it from another fish if there is another fish that would be medium and green for the dough ball. But pretty simple to catch. I don't know. This was my first. It loaded up on the first board, so I don't know if it has a pretty high frequency. After we catch this one, I guess we can take a look, do some refreshes, and see just how often it does show up. And its frequency could be different on different levels. I fished this level for the freshwater leaderboard, and I have over 1,000 of these, so I'm assuming it shows up pretty frequently on S9 and frequently on top. I think it's top and middle. So there's our mountain whitefish, and let's just we'll do 10 refreshes and see how many we get. 1, 1 for 2, 2 for 3, 3 for 4, 4 for 5, 5 for 6, 5 for 7, 5 for 8, 5 for 9, 5 for 10. So it looks like with quick experimental odds, it'll show up about 50% of the time. So let's head on over to the US West for that starry flounder. All right, here we are at Cannon Beach, US West 16, and fish is starry flounder. Not an easy fish to go after. I would recommend using a firework. It does not show up a lot, and it's a bottom fish with no live bait preference. And on this map, if you know what I'm talking about, the bottom isn't the bottom, so it's hard to use the metal jig down there. So I've got a 2-step process for this fish. The majority of the bottom fish prefer the krill and the shiner. So I am going to drop either one of those. I've got the krill on. I'm going to drop either one of those on the bubbles. And if it's not an instant bite, switch to the shiner. And if it's also not an instant bite on the shiner, it's just one flick to the right. If it's not an instant bite on the shiner or the krill, you've got a good chance that it's going to be the starry flounder. Like here, I've got 2 sets of bubbles right on top of each other. That makes the situation a little more difficult, but all right, that's an instant bite on the krill. That's not going to be the flounder. And the set of bubbles here kind of moved away a little bit. Hopefully it kind of stays back out of this range. So if that one's in range there, I did not get an instant bite, but the bubbles are gone now. I know it was a little bit further away from that first one. It's moving left or right pretty good. So if the bubbles are still where they were, let's see if we get a bite here with the shiner. That's a chance that it's going to be the flounder, but I could also have missed the target area. So got something positive. Starry flounder does not jump because I don't remember it jumping. So if you get through probably 4 fights, okay, it's going to be Leopard. I think he, let's see, does he like the shine, or did he maybe swim over from somewhere else? I don't have these committed to memory anymore, so he does like the shiner. That might have been that other set of bubbles. They're back on top of each other, so some bubbles here. And also, when you're fishing, so that was I don't know, I wouldn't call that an instant bite necessarily. The instant bites on bottom can be a little taxing sometimes. So it might have been an instant bite on the shiner. I mean, it took a little bit. I'll go ahead and see what I get on this. And you can also do a quick release on these as well. And that might be just thought about, might be a better option. Starry flounder should be pretty easy to recognize on a quick release. Not starry flounder. But 100% if you get the new set of bubbles out there, if you get an instant bite, no matter what, if it's a solid instant bite, you can just 100% forgo that. So definitely not an instant bite. Hit it with the shiner. Sometimes an instant bite on bottom, that time it didn't even reach the bottom. Sometimes it'll, right when it hits the bottom, sometimes it'll be before it hits the bottom. If it's before, it's definitely an instant. But again, the fish does not show up a lot either. It's the least frequent one on this map. Instant bite, so pass on it. What I was getting ready to say is if you've lost your bubbles or your swirls because it took too long, if you just hook any fish and quick release it, all your bubbles and swirls regenerate. What time is it? It's 5 o'clock, so probably about 3 minutes into this firework. I'd have been short on that, and that fish is swimming away a little bit. All right. Well, that was a little bit of a delay. That could have been a fish that would be yellow for it. I wish I knew the timing on the shiner. It's definitely not an instant bite on the krill. So it's a long wait. It would be, whatever this fish is, it would be red for the krill. So that would be an indicator too. It would be a really long wait on a krill. See, those things are good to know when you're target fishing, is trying to determine based on weight time what color the fish would be, because if you know it was on bottom, you know it's the only bottom fish that would be red, and you know be that 12 to 16 second wait. So that's not our fish. When I had the shiner on, it could have been instant bite. That's the Sometimes it'll be on its way down. Sometimes it's right after it gets to the bottom. So that's definitely not an instant bite on the krill for this one. And the fish is moving fast here. The one I just did not get the instant bite on the krill. The bubbles are moving fast. That was definitely an instant bite on the shiner, so. No instant bite on the shiner. Two bubbles in the same area here. I'm in the right spot. That was definitely enough of a delay that I would not call that an instant bite. It had got to the bottom. I think the rock greenling does prefer the shiner or the krill, so if you're not just trying to only get the flounder, let's see what this fish is. If you're just fishing in general, and you're going to pull whatever you get. I don't think this is the epic, though. I do want to see what it is for bait preferences. I want to make sure that that wasn't just a slow instant bite. Did not seem like it would have been. Sea bass, let's look at its bait preference. Yeah, so that was a non-instant bite. So might end up with the striped sea bass. Now that's ringing a bell a little bit to me that I think that might be the main one that you're going to get in this method. It is not an instant bite. That was an instant bite, but I don't think it was the bubbles I was on. I think I dropped it on another fish. Those bubbles were moving fast. Alright, no instant bite krill. Definitely instant bite on the shiner. You know, like I said, this fish does not show up a lot. No bubbles. Alright. No on the shiner. Also, when you're doing this, make sure you double check that your bait hasn't popped up to maybe middle or anything like that. And you think you're on bottom and you're not. Oh, got the instant bite on the krill, so no go. No go. See, I'm going to pull this fish in because there's a tiny bit of delay. That might be that same one. Let's see. It gets to the bottom just for a second before it gives the bite indicator. I mean, I know it's not the flounder, I can tell that. Let's see, the cod was it an instant bite or not. Yeah, so that was an instant bite. It would have been instant bite for both of them. It was a slow instant bite. So some it'll happen on the way down. Some it takes it actually hitting the bottom. Probably due for a firework. All right. At least no go on the krill. No go on the shiner, so we've got some hope it might be that striped sea bass. Last time we caught it, or that striped sea bass, it was a long, long wait, but I can't remember if I had the krill or the shiner down there. My short-term memory is pretty much non-existent. Well, he hasn't jumped yet. That's a little hopefulness. I think hopefully the rock soul. I think the rock soul on this level does not meet the same. It's a flat fish. I think it's the. Let's see. I think the rock soul is. There we go. I think the rock soul is smaller. So there we go. Got it on whether the firework was getting ready to expire or not. But here it is. So again, that process, it will save you a lot of time, is going to be crawfish and switch to the shiner on bottom if the crawfish is an instant bite. So it won't be instant bite on either one, and it should save you some time. There you go. Best of luck and happy hunting, and have a great day.